Hi, everybody. It's Edie with the Garden of Eydie, and I'm here with Claudia with Holistic Vision. And how much are we learning? I mean, this is really empowering. Isn't it wonderful to be able to get rid of those crutches, the glasses, and be able to see clearly just with a few techniques taught by Claudia? I'm telling you, you've got to take this course. It's so good. So, Claudia, what are you going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about astigmatism, which for a lot of people is like, I have this stigmatism. I don't understand. And it's probably one of the most complicated refractive errors that even eye doctors can not explain very well. So a healthy cornea is basically like a sliver of this ball or a basketball or something. It's a round dome-shaped structure, right? The cornea, the front part of the eye. Now, if you have astigmatism, it looks more like an American football. So there's a flatter and a steeper curve.
Hmm.
And that means that you have different focal points in your retina, and they could be in front of your retina and behind the retina. Ideally, I would have some pictures here to show you, but don't worry about understanding all the details. Basically, it's related to several things. Physically, it's related to posture. We will talk about that in a moment. Mentally, it's related to like having too many balls in the air. You're trying to multitask and do all these things all at once, relating to the several focal points. And then emotionally, it's related to not really knowing what you want in life. So maybe as a child, you felt you had to play a role and you weren't really sure about yourself. So you kind of always, adjusted to what other people wanted from you, but you're not really sure. I had a really high astigmatism and I was always indecisive. I'm like, should I do this? Should I do that? I asked everybody around me.
She's kind of like a psychologist, like not just with the eyes, but the whole body. I mean, it's really incredible. So tell us about the posture.
So this is actually based on research by an optometrist named Elliot Forrest. He did all this research in the 1980s. And interestingly enough, optometrists don't talk about it. And he meticulously measured his patients. Every time they came in, he measured their astigmatism and he would also check the strength and the axis. So really quick, we didn't talk about that. Astigmatism, when you look at your prescription and you have something in the cylinder, that's the strength in diopters, and the axis is the angle of that flatter curve. Remember how we talked about a flatter curve? So it could be vertical, it could be horizontal, it could be any degree basically between 0 and 180. And he meticulously tracked this. And then he asked them what they were doing in their life. Do they have a new job? How were they, for instance, maybe you have a ton of monitors, and he noticed that they have this kind of horizontal astigmatism because they would keep moving their eyes side to side, but not moving their head, not moving the whole body. Or people that start with reading glasses, maybe that was your scenario. We don't have any here, but oftentimes you put them on the bottom of your nose, but then you don't need them for distance. So you kind of do that vertical up and down, and that would develop an astigmatism in a 90-degree axis. So there's a correlation. Or let's say you're right-handed and you always write and you don't write in the center, but you'll write over here. Now you're looking that way. So the left eye is further away from the focal point. And then he noticed they had a stronger cylinder, a stronger level of astigmatism. And that was true in about 85% of the cases. And what I also want to mention, so Norwegian researchers studied orchestra musicians, right? Violinists have a head tilt.
Yeah.
Trombone player has a rotation because, or depending on where you stand, usually two musicians share a music stand. And again, they could always exactly kind of tell what their posture was. And when I look at my clients' prescriptions, I'm usually pretty sure what their posture they
That
have.
is unbelievable. No one teaches us these things. So you always show us some techniques of how to kind of clear this problem up. What are some of those techniques?
We have 6 extraocular muscles. So we have 6 muscles around the eyeball. And if some of them pull tighter, they're tighter. If I had this ball is not soft enough, right? If I would kind of pull really hard on that, you could see how it would distort the cornea in the front, right? So this is where you can do those practices where you look up, you look down, you look to the sides, and you look like diagonally. And if you have tension in any of those areas where it's like you do that and it really feels tight, that would be a good way to kind of stretch those outer extraocular muscles.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
I love that. Now we're going to go in the kitchen shortly and we're making a Pomodoro sauce because there's something to do with Pomodoro sauce. So tell us about that.
So I talked a little bit earlier about the multitasking, right? And that was definitely me. And I call it like not ADD, like kind of in quotation marks. So not like the clinical diagnosis of,
Yeah, right.
but that idea that you cannot focus on something, or you start something, but then you do something else, and you do something else, and that was 100% me. And I think a lot of people can relate to
I
that.
can relate.
So Pomodoro is a technique that was created by an Italian guy. I can never remember.
Francesco Cirillo.
Oh, there you go. He developed this technique called Pomodoro, and it's called Pomodoro because he used a kitchen timer that was shaped as a tomato. And the idea is that you focus, you set 25 minutes, to focus on something. So that really helped me to be like, instead of I have to do all these things, set 25 minutes and then you work on this task, whatever, writing this book or whatever you want to do. And then you get 5 minutes break, and then you get another 25 minutes, 5 minutes break. And then I think after the third one or the fourth one, you get a half an hour break. But it's an idea to really manage your time and focus.
Well, I'm excited about this. This is a great, great tip. What do you guys think? Throughout these videos, if you have questions, just comment below because we are going to do a final video and we're going to answer all your questions. I'm sure you have a million. Everybody has something with their eyes, right? And how about your kids? Whatever questions you have, please comment below.